Welcome back. This is Chris, my brother in Christ, Stephen.
Welcome back.
Date today is April 28th, year of our Savior, 2019. Remember, there's only heaven and earth according to the living Word of God. Yes, and the title of this video is going to be called 100 Proofs the Earth is Not a Globe, Part 2. Yes, 100 Proofs the Earth is Not a Globe, Part 2. Now, we only got through 6 last time, so I'm not sure how far we're going, but we're just going to keep rolling with it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember that I'm going to quote the Encyclopedia Britannica so that you know that formula we gave you, that the miles squared times 8 inches is not something that we're inventing. That's according to math when you're dealing with the globular theory. Now, the Encyclopedia Britannica says, quote, the amount of curvature or diverging from the vertical increases as the square of the distances. That the curvature of the earth is 8 inches for the first mile and 32 for the second mile, and so on. So let's do that really quick, because to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps you're better at math than myself, but it took me a little while to figure this out. So we're looking at m would be the miles, so we're going to do 1 m squared times 8 inches, and so I'm going to do 1 times 1 times 8.
Yeah.
And that would give us, can they see that, Stephen?
Yeah.
All right, so 1 times 1, remember when you're dealing with math, you want to solve what's in the parentheses. That would be m squared. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 8 would be 8 inches. All right, and I go, oh, I'll get that, but then the second mile would be what?
2 times 2.
2 times 2 times 8.
Yeah.
All right. And that is going to be
2 times 2 is 4.
4 times 8 is 32.
So it's 32 inches.
32 inches below. And then it goes on. 3 all the way up. And you can use this formula. Folks, be honest with you, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but I'm not. It took me a while to grasp this formula. And because I've never, it's kind of new to me, folks, and math is not I'm stronger in words than I am in math. Not that I'm bad at math, ladies and gentlemen, we're just here to be real. All right, so let's continue on this journey that we're learning all about 100 proofs that the earth is not a globe. Number 7, if we take a trip down the Chesapeake Bay, in the daytime, we may see for ourselves the utter fallacy of the idea that when a vessel appears hull down, as it is called, it is because the hull is behind the water. For vessels have been seen and may often be seen, again, presenting the appearance spoken of, and away, far away, beyond those vessels, and at the same moment, the level shoreline with its accompanying complement of tall trees towering up in perspective over the heads of the hull down ships. Since then, the idea will not stand its ground when the facts rise up against it, and it is a piece of the popular theory. The theory is a contemptible piece of business, and we may easily wring from it a proof that the earth is not a globe. Now, some of these things are a little bit complicated, and I'm not saying I understand everything. All we're doing is dialoguing. Folks, if we're in an age of information, we should be able to talk about these things without ridicule.
You could watch a ship, as I mentioned before, you could watch a ship disappear over the horizon and take a high-powered camera or telescope and zoom it right back in, and that ship is sitting right on top of the water. You can see even the waves crashing against the side of the ship if you're on a clear day.
On a clear day.
Keep in mind, you can only see certain distances anyway. If you look down a row of telephone poles, it looks like if you see a 5-10 mile stretch of road, you look down and see the telephone poles all the way at the end. They look really small.
They start converging.
Yeah, they start looking really small. They're the same height.
They go this way.
If you look at a hallway of a really big hotel, You look down the hallway of a hotel, it looks like all the way at the end, the hallway is really small, but it's
Right.
not. It's just
just
perception.
Perspective.
Perspective,
Yes, perspective, right. And so this is what we're learning. This is true science, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so number 8. If the Earth were a globe, a small model globe would be the very best, because the truest thing for the navigator to take to the sea with him, but such a thing as that is not known. With such a toy as a guide, the mariner would wreck his ship of a certainty. This is a proof that the Earth is not a globe. So you're looking at these aircraft carriers, you know, they're hitting the oceans and stuff. But what do they have? They have this little spinning globe that they're using to navigate. No, folks. They're using azimuthal equidistal projection, which is on its flat Earth, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they navigate, and they deal in straight lines and shooting azimuth and things like that. You can look this up, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the ocean currents on an azimuthal equidistal map.
Sundials wouldn't work on a ball.
Sundials wouldn't. Yet they're still working today.
Gyroscopes. Yeah, gyroscopes wouldn't work on a ball.
Gyroscopes is what you use for an artificial horizon when you're when you have a pilot flying an airplane. An airplane. It's a plane. It's a vehicle going off of a plane or a level surface into the air. It's not called an airplanet. It's called an airplane. Okay. So this is just showing you to get you to think about things, folks. Number 6. Excuse me. Seeing if you're paying attention. Number 9. As mariners take to the sea with their charts constructed as though the sea were a level surface. However, these charts may err as to the true form of this level surface taken as a whole. It is clear as they find them answer their purpose tolerably well, and only tolerably, for many ships are wrecked owing to the error of which we speak, that the surface of the sea is as to be taken to be whether the captain of the ship supposes the earth to be a globe or anything else. Thus, then we draw from the common system of plain sailing, a practical proof that the earth is not a globe. So you're a mariner, you're navigating through the ocean, you're going to be using not a spinning globe, you're not going to be looking at the globe and the curvature, you're going to be dealing with flat earth charts, ladies and gentlemen. The azimuthal equidistant, ladies and gentlemen. And that's representing map distances true to scale in all directions. Okay, so number 10, that the mariners' compass points north and south at the same time is a fact as indisputable as that 2 and 2 makes 4. But that this would be impossible if the thing were placed on a globe with north and south at the center of opposite hemispheres is a fact that does not figure in the school books, though very easily seen, and it requires no lengthy train of reasoning to bring out of it a pointed proof that the earth is not a globe. So, like, for example, here, this is a flat earth map behind us, and it's always going to point true north.
Because it's on a flat level surface.
It's a flat level surface. So it's kind of like taking, what are they called? A square and compass, where they take that point, and then they have the arm out, and then you do a 360-degree line. But it's always going to be pointing towards the center, no matter where you are. It's like you're on a pie or a pizza, folks, but that center point is North Pole. You're always going to be shooting there. And then so you know where north is wherever you are, all right, because it's going to be pointing towards the center. Well, the opposite is going to be south, and then from there you're going to have west and east, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it is, but it's all determined by knowing true north.
And you can circumnavigate on a circular,
on a circle.
just like you can on a ball.
Right.
When they try to say, well, they circumnavigate it, well, just keep going east or west. You'll go around.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't. Nobody circumnavigates north to south, though.
No, they don't.
They only do east to west.
Only east to west. All right. So number 11. Number 11 says, as the mariner's compass points north and south at one time, and as the north to which it is attracted is that part of the earth situated where the North Star is in its zenith, it follows that there is no south point or pole, but that while the center is north, a vast circumference must be south in its whole. This is a proof that the earth is not a globe. So when we're looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at, we're just dealing with a circle, and bear in mind, this is not the scale, but this would be the North Pole. North Pole. All right. Can they see that, Stephen?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, it's not the scale, and I'm a little off there, but you can go, no matter where you are going around this circle, no matter where you are going on the circle, you're still pointing north, folks. So if you're here, you're going to be, that's going to be your north. If you're over here, it's north. But it's all centered around the North Pole, which is aligned with Polaris.
That would be with their circumnavigation.
Yeah, can I see that?
Yeah.
Let's show this picture, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Can they see that?
Yes.
All right.
See how they circumnavigate?
They circumnavigate. You can circumnavigate. A lot of times they go, well, you can't circumnavigate unless it's a globe. All right. Now, that's a much better picture than my chicken scratch. All right. So, number 11, I think. I keep losing my place here. Number 11, as the mariner's compass points north and south. No, I'm going on number 12. Number 12, as we have seen that there is really no south point or pole, but an infinity of points forming together a vast circumference, the boundary of the known world, with its battlements of icebergs which bid defiance to man's onward course in a southerly direction, so there can be no east or west points, just as there is no yesterday and no tomorrow. In fact, as there is one point that is fixed, the north, it is impossible for any other point to be fixed likewise. East and west are therefore merely directions at right angles with a north and south line, and as the south point of the compass shifts round to all parts of the circular boundary, as it may be carried round the central north, so the directions of east and west crossing this line continue to form a circle at a latitude. A westerly circumnavigation is going around with the North Star continually on the right hand, and an easterly circumnavigation is performed only when the reverse condition of things is maintained. The North Star being on the left hand as the journey is made. These facts, taken together, form a beautiful proof that the earth is not a globe. So the only thing that's fixed is the North Pole.
Right.
So
there's no fixed east or west points, just as there's no fixed south. The north central pole is the only proven fixed point on our flat earth, with south being all straight lines outwards from the pole, east and west concentric circles at constant right angles 90 degrees from the pole. A westerly circumnavigation of the earth is thus going around with Polaris continually on your right, while an easterly circumnavigation is going around Polaris always on your left. Because
Right.
the North Pole, Polaris, and it stays there always. And that's another thing, that how could the earth be, spinning into infinite space if the North Pole stays there and it's been there forever?
correct. Yeah, absolutely. So we see that Polaris, which is the North Star, is aligned with our North Pole.
North Star, I said North Pole, I meant North Star, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're fixed. And then everything else, that allows us to navigate, folks. Allows the mariners to navigate. Allows, if you're flying in the air. All of this stuff is about navigating. This is reality. This is what people do. And this is what ancient mariners, this is what the Vikings did, ladies and gentlemen. This is what those that were masters of the sea did.
Actually, NASA admitted in their own documents, 1988 or something like that, that all their figures were based on a flat, non-rotating surface. All their aeronautic
Motionless
figures.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how NASA operates.
That's how they figure all their math. So
right, and that's what's called National Aeronautics, and aero is referring to air. Space Administration is just that's fantasy. But
I thought it meant never a straight answer.
well, that too. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we're looking at compass. All right, so number 14, parallels of latitude only of all imaginary lines on the surface of the earth are circles with increase progressively from the northern center to the southern circumference. The mariner's course in the direction of any one of these concentric circles is his longitude, the degrees of which increase to such an extent beyond the equator, which is going southwards, that hundreds of vessels that have wrecked because of the false idea created by the untruthfulness of the charts and the globular theory together, causing the sailor to be continually getting out of his reckoning. With a map of the earth in its true form, all difficulty is done away with, and ships may be conducted anywhere with perfect safety. This, then, is a very important practical proof that the earth is not a globe.
The idea that people are standing, ships are sailing, and planes are flying upside down on certain parts of the earth, while others tilted at 90 degrees, and all other impossible angles is complete absurdity. The idea that a man digging a hole straight down could eventually reach sky on the other side is ludicrous.
Amen.
Common sense tells every free-thinking person correctly that there truly is an up and a down in nature, just like the everything is relative rhetoric of Newtonian Einstein paradigm.
Yeah, Newtonian Einstein. All right, so when you go on a plane, right, you're taking off of the plane and you're going into the air. That's why they call it an airplane. So they're basically, an airplane is another proof that the earth is not a globe. All right. So what happens is what? When you take off in an airplane, right? Stephen, can they see this? They're going to be you're going to be ascending. You're going to feel it going back, right? And then what happens? You reach cruising altitude. Can they see this? Yep. And then you're cruising altitude. So that's what he's trying to do. Cruising altitude, which is level, forever long you're going to be. Maybe they got to go a little bit higher, but generally to get the concept. And then they're going to descend and then land on an airfield, and it's going to be level, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple, folks, because we're on a plane. All right, number 15.
If a plane was flying and it was trying to land on a surface that was spinning and rotating and moving, it'd be impossible to land the plane.
It would be destroyed. Be death. You wouldn't be able to fly.
No.
I wouldn't want to get in a plane. All right, number 15. The idea that instead of sailing horizontally round the earth, ships are taken down one side of a globe, then underneath, and are brought up on the other side to get home again is, except as a mere dream, impossible and absurd. And since there are neither impossibilities nor absurdities in the simple matter of circumnavigation, it stands without argument a proof that the earth is not a globe. The mere aspect that you're flying and then as you go, you're going to go upside down and then come right back up again is lunacy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's absurdity. It's fantasia, ladies and gentlemen. It is fantasy. All right. Number 16. Number 16. If the earth were a globe, the distance round its surface at, say, 45 degrees south latitude could not possibly be any greater than it is at the same latitude north. But since it is found by navigators to be twice the distance, to say the least of it, or double the distance it ought to be according to the globular theory, it is a proof that the earth is not a globe.
Right.
Number 17. Number 17, human beings really require a surface on which to live that in its general character shall be level and, right? I mean, that's it. I mean, folks, you want to build a house and have it sloping down? When you build a house, you want it to be on solid, level ground, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So human beings require a surface which level shall be level, and since the omniscient creator, that's God, ladies and gentlemen, must have been perfectly acquainted with the requirements of his creatures, it follows that being an all-wise creator, he must have met them thoroughly. This is a theological proof that the earth is not a globe.
There has also never been a single experiment in history showing an object massive enough to, by virtue of its mass alone, cause another smaller mass to orbit around it. The magic theory of gravity allows for oceans, buildings, and people to remain forever stuck to the underside of a spinning ball, while simultaneously causing objects like moon and satellites to remain locked in perpetual circular orbits around the Earth. If these were both true, then people should be able to jump up and start orbiting around the Earth, or the moon should have long ago been sucked into the Earth. Neither of these theories have ever been experimentally verified, and their alleged results are mutually exclusive.
Man, people talk about they want to attack Christianity, but the greatest religion out there, ladies and gentlemen, is scientism. How many people will cite gravity as a magical force? It's a religion.
It's actually science fiction and science. Same thing nowadays.
It's a religion.
Yep.
Is it not?
Yep.
Science fiction, scientism is one of the fastest growing religions there are. I mean, Scientology, that's a religion, ladies and gentlemen. All Christian Science, that's all our religion. Scientism, folks. Most people will go, you know what? I believe scientism. I believe government.
Science today doesn't care for information and facts. If it doesn't fit into their paradigm, they're not interested in it. They have a knowledge filter where if it doesn't fit what they're saying, whether it's evolution or whatever the Darwinian concept is, if it doesn't fit that, then they don't even accept it as it's out of place artifacts or
out of place artifacts. I love that word.
Yeah,
out of place artifact. Truth, out of place artifact. Why we can't deal with truth?
Well,
it's
yeah,
out of place.
It's an out of place artifact. Just throw that in out of place artifact category and move on.
Right, absolutely. Number 18, ladies and gentlemen, the best possessions of man are his senses. And when he uses them all, he will not be deceived in his survey of nature. It is only when some faculty or other is neglected or abused that he is deluded. Every man in full command of his senses knows that a level surface is a flat or horizontal. Folks, you can get one of these called a torpedo level. Can I see that right there?
Yeah.
That is level right there, folks. They're not curved, right? All right. And so we're commanded, but astronomers tell us that the true level is the curved surface of a globe. They know that man requires a level surface on which to live, so they give him one in name, which is not one in fact. Since this is the best that astronomers, with their theoretical science, can do for their fellow creatures, deceive them, it is clear that things are not as they say they are, and in short, it is a proof that the earth is not a globe.
Heliocentrist astronomical figures always sound perfectly precise, but they have historically been notorious for regularly and drastically changing them to suit their various models. For instance, in the time Copernicus calculated the sun's distance from Earth to be 3,391,200 miles. The next century, Johannes Kepler decided it was actually 12,376,800 miles. Isaac Newton once said, "It matters not whether we reckon 28 or 54 million miles distance, for either would work just as well." How scientific. Benjamin Martin calculated between 81 and 82 million miles. Thomas Dilworth claimed it was 93 million miles, 726,900 miles.
Astronomical unit.
John Hines stated positively 95,298,260 miles. Benjamin Gould said more than 96 million miles. And Christian Mayer thought it was more than 104 million. Flat earthers throughout the ages, conversely, have used sextants and plane trigonometry to make such calculations and found the sun and the moon to be only about 32 miles in diameter and less than a few thousand miles from the earth.
Wow. But those are out of place artifacts, folks. We want to throw out sextants. We want to throw out spirit levels, theodolites that surveyors use. I mean, that all deals in truth. But apparently to scientism, these are out of place artifacts. All right. So every man, number 19, every man in his senses goes the most reasonable way to work to do a thing. Now astronomers, one after another, following a leader, follow the leader, ladies and gentlemen, while they're telling us that the earth is a globe, are cutting off the upper half of this supposititious globe in their books, and in this way forming the level surface on which they describe man as living and moving. Now, if the earth were really a globe, this would be just the most unreasonable and suicidal mode of endeavoring to show it, so that unless theoretical astronomers are all out of their senses, together it is clearly a proof that the earth is not a globe, right? What do? They put it on a flat, level surface for us to understand. But if that's not true, why don't they just keep it on a globe, folks? All of this stuff, folks. We're on number 20. We're going to pick up what number 20 is on 100 proofs that the earth is not a globe, ladies and gentlemen. We're on a flat earth. Geocentrism, ladies and gentlemen. We are significant. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Amen. By a creator, yes. Not by some cosmic accident, ladies and gentlemen. Let's follow God's rule, His commandment, and reject government. God bless you.